Ya, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. So hari ini kita akan sambung kuliah kita berkenaan dengan sinusoidal steady state analysis, okay, chapter 4 bagi khusus electric circuit 2. Okay, so in this subtopic we will discuss about phasor. Okay, about phasor. So this is the learning outcome of this subtopic. At the end of this topic, you should be able to understand the concept of sinusoid. Okay, what is sinusoid and phasor? So how to convert from time domain to the phasor domain? And number two, you can apply the phasor concept to the circuit elements. Okay, this is the main contents of this subtopic. Okay, first of all, we'll discuss about sinusoid waveform. What is sinusoidal waveform? Number two, we will discuss about forward phasor transform, how to transform from time domain to phasor domain, and then the last one, inverse phasor transform, which means that how to transform from phasor to time domain. Okay, this is introduction. Okay, at any steady state voltage or current in a linear circuit with a sinusoidal source. Okay, let's say we have a sinusoidal source, sine wave or cosine or sine function, basically is a sinusoid. Okay, this is a consequence of the nature of particular solution for sinusoidal forcing functions. All steady state voltages and currents have the same frequency. Okay, in this case, in the steady state condition, voltage and currents must have a same frequency as the source. Okay, usually an AC steady state voltage and current is given by the particular solution to a differential equation. Okay, basically in the steady state voltage or current, we have a particular differential equation that you already discussed in chapter 1 and chapter 2. Okay, so we do not have to find this differential equation, okay, for the circuit, nor do we have to solve it. Okay, instead what we need to do, we can apply or we can use the concept of phasor and complex impedances that we will discuss in detail. What is the complex impedances in the next subtopic. Okay, so in this topic we will discuss or we will focus on phasor. What is phasor? Okay, so in brief, complex impedance describe the relationship between the voltage across the elements. Describe about voltage across elements, which is expressed as a phasor, and the current through the element also expressed as a phasor, because we know that impedance equal to V over I. Okay, voltage over current. Okay, so next, what is sinusoid waveform? Okay, sinusoid waveform can be a sine wave. Sinusoid waveform can be a sine wave or cosine function Okay, usually refer as a alternating current. Of course, when we discuss about sine wave, cosine wave, it's about AC current. Okay, previously you already discussed about DC current or DC circuit. So in this chapter we will discuss about alternating current or AC circuit. So of course, in AC circuit, it has a positive and negative values. Okay, sorry, typo. Values. We have values. Okay, so circuit driven by sinusoidal current or waveform sources, we call it AC circuit. What is the meaning of AC circuit? Okay, circuit that driven by sinusoidal current or voltage sources. Okay, missing a typo. Okay, sorry. Okay, So let's say we have a sinusoidal voltage Vt, okay, small v. When we write a time domain equation, we write small v in bracket t, this is time, equal to Vm sine omega t, V capital M sine omega t. This is the function of Vt. Okay, Vt, this is a sine wave. This is the sine wave. This is axis of time, or omega t. This is the frequency, and this is angular frequency times t. This is the amplitude. Okay, this is the Vt. Okay, this is the Vt. Okay, this is a sine wave. Pi. Okay, this is a one complete cycle. This is a one complete cycle. We call it period of the sine wave. Okay, t, in this case t equal to 2 pi. Okay, let's say we draw the Vt versus time. Okay, so for one complete cycle we call it period. Okay, this is a period t. Okay, what is omega in this case? What is omega? Omega equal to angular frequency. Angular frequency unit radian per second, or this omega equal to 2 pi f. Okay, in this case f equal to frequency, or equal to 1 over period. Okay, t equal to period of the sine wave. Okay, time that required to complete one complete cycle, we call it period. And then Vm equal to amplitude of the waveform. This is the amplitude. Okay, this is the amplitude. Okay, this point is the amplitude of the waveform. Okay, basically this is the sinusoid waveform. This is the example of the sinusoidal voltage. Okay, let's say we have a two sinusoid voltage with different phases. What is phases? Okay, let's say we have a Vt, time domain Vt equal to Vm sine omega t. Where is the waveform of let's say we call it this one Vt1. Okay, this is the waveform. Okay, in this case phase of the Vt1 basically is equal to 0. That's why we start from the 0. Omega t start from the 0. Okay, let's say we have a Vt2. For example, we have a Vt2. Okay, Vm sine omega t plus theta. This one we call it the phase angle or phase shift. Okay, plus theta means our waveform start lagging. Our waveform basically is lead. Okay, mendahului. Okay, mendahului, we call it plus theta. Okay, plus theta. This is the waveform of the V2 equal to Vt Vm sine omega t plus theta. So from this figure, what we can conclude that V2, this V2 we call it leads V1. Okay, V2 mendahului, leads V1. Okay, mendahului V1, or in other words we can say that V1, this is a V1 lags, mengekor V2 by angle theta. So in this case you have to know what is the phases. This is the phase angle or phase shift between V1 and V2 equal to theta. Okay, so look at to this example. Okay, yang ni kamu boleh try lah, cuba buat example ni. Okay, keluarkan kertas, pen. Okay, make sure kamu tulis ya. Okay, let's say given sinusoid Vt equal to 30 sine 4 pi t minus 75 degree. Okay, from this sinusoid function, find the amplitude, phase, period and frequency of the sinusoidal. Okay, what is the amplitude of this function? Okay, what is the amplitude? Okay, so amplitude equal to 30. This is amplitude. Okay, so what is the phase? Phase equal to minus 75 degree. So what is the period? How to determine period? Where is omega? Omega equal to 2 pi f. Okay, so in this case your omega equal to, okay, standard function omega t. So your omega equal to 4 pi. Okay, so in this case you can determine frequency. Frequency equal to 2. What is the unit of frequency? Frequency equal to hertz. Okay, alright. So frequency equal to 2 hertz. So what is the relationship between frequency and period? So we know that frequency equal to sorry tak berapa cantik tulisan saya menggunakan mouse, 1 over t. Okay, 1 over t. Frequency equal to 1 over t. Or in other words, we can say that t equal to 1 over f. Okay, 1 over f. So you can determine frequency. So you can determine frequency. Frequency equal to 2 hertz. Period equal to, t is period equal to 1 over f. Okay, so omega equal to 4 pi. This is omega, we call it angular frequency. And then you can draw this waveform. Okay, how to draw this waveform? Because we have a negative phase shift, so our waveform start from here. Okay, legs. Okay, start from here. Okay. This is the example about sinusoid function. Okay, next, what is the phasor? This is the important part in this subtopic. Phasor basically is a complex number. Phasor is a complex number that represent the amplitude and phase of a sinusoid. Okay, yang kamu belajar pasal complex number sebelum itu sangat penting lah untuk apply dalam chapter ni berkenaan dengan phasor. What is the relationship between phasor and a complex number? Okay, which means that phasor is a complex number that represent amplitude and phase of the sinusoid. Okay, basically what is the advantages of using phasor in a AC steady state analysis? Okay, kita nak buat steady state analysis ataupun circuit analysis, especially for AC circuit, alternating current circuit. Basically we need to apply phasor concept, okay, rather than differential equation, yang tu lagi susah. Okay, so advantage-nya phasor ni lagi mudah lah kan. That's why phasor convert problems involving differential equations into a simple circuit analysis problem. Okay, lagi mudah. Number 2, by using a phasor, we also can apply all related circuit theorem. For example, Ohm's law, Kirchhoff voltage law, Kirchhoff currents law. Okay, to compute the current, voltage, power, and so on. Okay, from the circuit. That's the advantages of the phasor. That's why phasor is important in AC circuit analysis. Okay, so in this subtopic we can learn how to represent sinusoidal voltages and currents as a phasor. Okay, forward phasor transform. Okay, how to transform from the time domain. Let's say we have a time function. This is a time function, Vt, time. Okay, Vt equal to Vm cos omega t, let's say cos omega t plus theta. This is a cos function. So how to transform from cos function to the phasor function or phasor domain? Okay, let's say we have a Vt, and then we can convert to by applying Euler's identity, because we know that Ej theta equal to cos theta plus j sin theta. Okay, Vt equal to this one Vm, and then Ej omega t plus theta. Convert this one to the by using Euler identities. Okay, this is a Vt, and then by solving this equation we have a exponential, because this cos function we can convert to the exponential function j omega t plus theta. We solve this mathematical equation. We have two exponential. We solve this one. We have a exponential j theta times exponential j omega theta. Okay, so we have a two part. Okay, let's say can you see this is the first part, and then this is a second part. Okay, this second part we call it rotating. This function we call it a rotating phasor, because our function because we have a t in our function. T always changing, time selalu berubah, time 0, 1, 2, 3. So our this term we call it a rotating function. Okay, but we have a v here. This v we call it stationary phasor. Okay, this is a rotating function because we have a function of t, because time is keep changing from 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. That's why we call it a rotating phasor. And this one we call it stationary phasor because we don't have a time. Okay, function of time here. This one v equal to Vm exponential j theta. This one we call it a stationary. So basically this rotating phasor, okay, can be represent, this function can be represent or on a rectangular coordinate planes as radius of length Vm. This is the Vm. Okay, this is the magnitude, and rotating in the anti-clockwise. Okay, rotate anti-clockwise. Okay, when t is changing from 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, it will rotate anti-clockwise. Okay, at rate angular frequency, rate omega, which is radian per second. Radian is angle Okay, angle, this is a speed, angle frequency, radian per second. Okay, so what we need to focus, actually we focus on the stationary phasor. V equal to Vm exponential j theta. Therefore we can write as a Vm exponential j theta, we can write as a polar form. Okay, Vm angle theta. Okay, so our time domain, okay, from Vt equal to Vm cos omega t plus theta, we can write in polar form, which is equal to Vm angle theta. We call it polar form. Okay, this is the magnitude of Vm, magnitude and angle theta. Okay, this is a phasor diagram. How to write a phasor diagram? Okay, real axis, this is imaginary axis. Okay, Vm, this is a Vm. Okay, magnitude and angle theta. Okay, theta, this is a 0, angle positive, let's say positive 10, positive 20 maybe. Okay, this is 90. Okay, this one we call it polar form. Yang kamu dah cuba buat latihan dalam chapter complex number. Okay, so this polar form we can represent into rectangular form. Rectangular form, we have a real axis, we have a real number, and then we have a imaginary number. Real number equal to cos theta, Vm cos theta, Vm cos theta, and imaginary number equal to Vm sin theta. This one we call it a rectangular form. Okay, so what we can summarize from this subtopic, we have a time domain Vt, let's say, equal to Vm cos omega t plus theta. So we can represent this time domain into phasor form. How to, okay, phasor form, or we call it exponential form, Vm exponential j theta. Okay, because we have a same frequency, yeah. Okay, so we can remove omega. Okay, we didn't see any omega or frequency in this equation. Okay, so we can number 2, we can represent in polar form, Vm angle theta, and then we also can represent this time domain into rectangular domain, Vm cos theta plus j sin theta. Okay, this is a real part, this is imaginary part. We call it a rectangular form. Okay, what is the relationship between time domain and phasor domain representation? Okay, how to transform? Okay, this is the example. Let's say you have a Vm cos omega t plus, let's say our angle, we call it phi, either phi or theta, doesn't matter, it's just on notation. Okay, so you can transform to phasor domain. Phasor domain, let's say in polar form. Okay, we write Vm angle phi. Let's say we have our time domain function Vm sin omega t plus phi. So how to transform? First, you need to transform to the cos function. Okay, how to convert from sine to the cos function? I think you already discussed, you already learned in mathematics. We need to minus 90 degree. So that's why our phasor domain representation, we have a Vm phase phi minus 90 degree. Okay, similarly, let's say we have a current function cos omega t plus let's say theta. So Im equal to Im angle theta. If we have a Im sin omega t plus theta, so Im theta minus 90 degree. Why minus 90 degree? Because we need to convert from sine function to cos function. Okay, clear? Alright. Okay, yang ni penting yang ni sangat penting. Okay, try buat exercise 2. Okay, kita try buat exercise 2. Okay, obtain phasor transformation of the following expression in polar form. Okay, we have a time domain and then convert to phasor domain. Let's say number 1, we have a Vt. Okay, and then you need to convert to polar form. So how to convert to the polar form? First, you need to ensure that your Vt in cos function. Okay, kenapa? Cos function. Because cos, when you have a cos function, you can directly convert to phasor domain. Just take amplitude and angle. Amplitude and angle. Okay, so here you have a cos function, so you can write in polar form equal to 170 angle minus 40. Okay, number 2. Okay, It equal to 10 sin omega t plus 20 degrees. Okay, how to convert to polar form? Make sure you convert to the cos function. So you need to minus 90 degrees. So your I equal to magnitude 10 angle 20 minus 90 degree. So this is the polar form. Okay, 10 angle negative 70 ampere. Okay, clear. Okay, yang ketiga. Yang ketiga menarik sikit. Okay, let's say you have It, you have two different function. Okay, 5 cos omega t plus angle, k plus cos omega t minus 53.13, let's say. So how to convert to polar form? So in order to convert to polar form, okay, you can see that It, small I and small t. This one we call it time domain. Okay, small letter. Okay, if you convert to the polar form, kalau kamu convert kepada polar form, you kena tulis capital letter. Capital lah, sama juga V ni pun capital. Okay, so IT equal to cos, convert kepada polar form. Okay, ini kita convert kepada polar form, ini convert kepada polar form, directly convert because we have a cos function, both are cos function, and then you can use your own calculator. Okay, tekan calculator kamu, scientific calculator, and then you can get this function or this value guna calculator. Okay, similarly untuk soalan 4, okay, VT, okay, you have a cos function, okay, but this one you have a sin function. Okay, cos function you can directly convert to polar form. Okay, capital V equal to 300 angle 45, directly convert. Okay, but this sin function you have to, okay, minus 100, 30 degree, this is a 30 degree, you have to minus 90 because you have a sin function. You have to convert to the cos function first, which is you need to minus by 90 degree. And then by using your own calculator, you can get the V. Okay, so the unit of V actually is voltage and not ampere. So typo. Okay, voltage. Okay, so next draw the phasor diagram. Okay, phasor diagram. Okay, let's say I give one example for one. Okay, number one, how to draw the phasor diagram? We look at to the phasor form. Okay, we look at to the polar form. Okay, you draw the real axis. This is a real axis. Okay, this is an imaginary axis, and then your magnitude is 170. Okay, angle minus 40. Where is the position of angle minus 40? Okay, this is a 0. This is a 90 degree. Okay, this is a 90 degree. This is 180 degree. Okay, 180 degree. And then 270 degree. This is a 360 degree. Minus means clockwise. Anti-clockwise is positive degree. And clockwise is minus. So, what is the position of minus? This is the position of minus 40. This is the angle. This is the magnitude of VM, 170 degree. Okay. Okay. So, you boleh cuba untuk yang kedua. Okay, what is the position of this one? Okay, this one, this one. Yang ni kamu cuba buat. Okay. Nanti kamu cuba buat exercise. Draw the phasor diagram for 2, 3, and 4. Okay, you boleh cuba. Okay, so okay, yang ni kita dah buat macam mana nak convert daripada time domain to phasor to polar form, daripada time domain to the polar form. Okay, so inverse means we try to convert from polar form to time domain. Okay, or this one we call it, basically we call it a frequency domain. This is a frequency domain. Okay, sama ada daripada phasor form, polar form, or rectangular form, we convert to time domain. So how to convert to time domain? Okay, let's say you have a V, let's say magnitude and angle. This is a magnitude, this is a magnitude, this is an angle. For example, in polar form, this is a magnitude, this is an angle. So how to convert to the time domain? Okay, you can write, okay, this is a capital V. You can write small v, t, in time domain, yt in bracket t, because this is the time domain function. Vm, this is a magnitude, and you put a cos omega t plus theta. Omega t plus theta. So you can convert from polar form, phasor form, or rectangular form to time domain. This one we call it inverse phasor, from phasor to time domain. Okay, let's try example number 3. Okay, let's say you have a phasor form of V, and then you can determine what is the time domain of V. Okay, let's say you have a V at 86.3 angle 26. You can convert to time domain. Okay, small v. Okay, please bear in mind this is a small v in bracket t. Okay, this is amplitude cos omega t plus 26 phase angle. Okay, Okay, next, let's say you have a I. This is a summation of two phasor form. Okay, you tekan calculator, cuba tekan calculator dan tolong check jawapan ni betul tak. Okay, I, you dapat I, then you can convert to phasor, you can convert to time domain. Okay, this is a magnitude, this is the phase angle. Okay, similarly to number 3, you have a rectangular form plus phasor form. Doesn't matter, you can use your calculator, directly use calculator. Okay, ambil calculator you, cuba tekan calculator. Okay, sekali tekan je, 60 plus 30i in your calculator plus 100 angle minus 28. So you can directly get this answer. Cuba check betul tak answer ni. Okay, when you got this answer for polar form, then you can convert to the phasor domain. This is the amplitude, and then this is the angle. Okay, cuba fahamkan example 2 dan 3. Mesti faham how to convert from time domain to phasor domain or phasor form, and then inverse from polar form, okay, or phasor form or rectangular form to the time domain. Okay, next we discuss about phase relationship. Okay, let's say we have two different function. For example, what is the relationship between two phases? Okay, let's say in this case, let's say we have V1. Let's say V1 t equal to t3 cos omega t plus 4t. So in polar form, we can write V1 3 angle 4t. Okay, let's say we have a V2 t 4t cos omega t minus 20 degree. So we can write in polar form 4 angle minus 20. Okay, so from this one you can draw the phasor diagram. This is a phasor diagram. This is a phasor diagram. Where is the position of V1? This is a real axis, this is a imaginary axis. Okay, angle. Okay, from 0, 90 and 360 degree anti-clockwise. Okay, 340, this is the position of angle 40 degree. This is the position, angle 40 degree. Okay, let's say V2, 4 angle minus 20 degree. This is a angle minus 20 degree. 0, this is a negative. Okay, clockwise is negative degree. Clockwise. Anti-clockwise, positive degree. Okay, kalau ada yang lupa. Okay, so the phase relationship. What is the phase relationship between these two functions? Okay, so the phase angle between V1 and V2 is 60 degree. Phase angle, the different angle between phase 1, between V1 and V2 actually is 60 degree. Okay, 40 plus 20. Okay, so or in other words, we can say that V1 leads V2 by 60 degree. Okay, V1 leads V2 by 60 degree. Okay, V1 ni mendahului. Dia mendahului V1 sebanyak 60 degree. Or in other words, we can say that V2 lags, mengekor. Kita tengok dia punya arah anti-clockwise, lawan jam. Okay, anti-clockwise. Yang ni mendahului, so leads. Yang ni mengekor, we call it lags. Okay, yang ni kena clear konsep leading and lagging. Okay, so sorry, kita try exercise. Yang ni exercise ni kamu boleh buat, cuba buat. Let's say state the phase relationship between each pair of voltages. Sama dengan contoh yang ni. Okay, cuba buat balik. Convert kepada polar form, convert to polar form. Okay, lepas convert kepada polar form, you draw the phasor diagram. And then you can see the difference between phase. Okay, then you can conclude the phase difference between two functions. Okay, macam ni. Okay, cuba buat yang ni exercise 1. Okay, so next we'll discuss about phasor addition. Let's say you have phasor can be used to simplify the process of adding sinusoidal quantity. Let's say you have a sinusoidal, let's say Vt equal to V1 plus V2 plus V3 until Vn. So we can convert to the phasor form, and then we can add this V1 in phasor form plus V2 and so on. Okay, we can convert. Therefore, what we can say that adding sinusoid of the same frequency is equivalent to adding their corresponding phasor. Okay, maksudnya hasil tambah sinusoid ni yang mempunyai frekuensi yang sama juga adalah sama dengan hasil tambah dia corresponding phasor. Itu maksudnya lah. Okay, kita try example apa maksud konsep ni. Okay, let's say refer to the current at node A. Let's say this is a node A. We have a current entered I1, I2, and current out equal to IT. Let's say so I1 is given. Okay, this is I1, I2 is given. So the question is find IT. Okay, of course IT, you know that IT equal to summation of I1 plus I2. Okay, so summation of I1, I2. So how to solve this problem? First, you need to convert to polar form. Okay, you convert to polar form. Okay, you can convert to polar form because you know that I equal to IT equal to I1 plus I2. So I in phasor domain equal to I1 plus I2. Okay, you convert to the polar form, and then you can solve this one. Okay, from the phasor domain you can convert to the time domain. From phasor domain you can convert to time domain. This is a phasor domain, convert to time domain, magnitude and angle. Okay, is it clear? Okay, maksudnya, okay, you have given time domain function. Okay, to solve for IT, no need to add I1 small, no need to add I1 t plus I2 t directly. First, you need to convert to polar form, and then you can add this polar form, and then you got the polar form, and then you can convert to time domain. Okay, polar form or phasor form, call it a phasor form, phasor domain. Okay, then you can convert to time domain. Okay, so boleh draw dia punya phasor diagram for I1, I2 and I. Okay, cuba draw phasor domain untuk I1, I2 and I. Okay, cuba draw this is I1 36, I2 minus, let's say here I2. Okay, this is I1. Okay, you tanda magnitude dan angle, and then where is I? 18 angle 3. This is I. This is I. Okay, this is our phasor diagram. Then you letak dia punya angle lah. Okay. Okay, next example. Let's say you have a voltage A and B. Okay, V1 and V2. Let's say Vt equal to, okay, solve KVL, simple KVL. So Vt equal to V1 minus V2. Then you convert to from time domain to phasor domain. Okay, time domain to phasor. V2 you convert to phasor, and then in phasor you can solve this equation. Okay, V equal to V1 minus V2. Okay, tekan calculator, you dapat ni in phasor form. Then from phasor form, if you want to determine the time domain, you can convert to time domain. Okay, make sure cos, this is angle. Okay, this is magnitude. Okay, clear how to convert from time domain to phasor domain? Then you can solve your circuit by using a phasor. Okay, phasor, you can perform any circuit analysis by using phasor. And then next, if you want to determine the time domain, you can convert from phasor form, from phasor domain or to time domain. Okay, so next you can try this exercise. You can try this exercise 2 by your own. If you have any problem, you can contact me lah. You can ask me, and then we can discuss in the maybe in the next tutorial, inshallah. Okay, I think that's all for this subtopic about phasor concept. So what we can conclude that today, what you learn from this subtopic actually is how to transform from time domain to phasor domain. Then next, how to transform from phasor domain to time domain, inverse, forward and inverse phasor. So basically we use this phasor concept to solve our circuit analysis, our AC alternating circuit analysis. Okay, I think that's all for today. Okay, see you next lecture. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.